Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we are kicking off the Ash and Sand trilogy group read with some reading sprints. And Ashley and I here are going to be reading Kings of Paradise, which is the first book in the trilogy by Richard Nell. I already started it, y'all, so we're not really kicking it off today because I couldn't wait.
I wasn't gonna say
Ashley, you
anything.
started as well, right?
Yes, I did. I'm on about page 66.
Awesome. I'm really excited about this. If you all are new to my channel or you don't know Steve talks about books and stuff, this is his favorite book of the year for 2021. And his wife, Brandy, is also her favorite book. And so both of them decided to host this group read so that anybody who hasn't already found out about this trilogy could join and love Richard Nell's work just like they do. So I'm really excited. I'm about 40% through, like 230 pages, and I really like it. How about you, Ashley? What do you think so far?
I'm enjoying it. There's so much I feel like I need to take in, so I've been kind of slow with it and just taking my time. But I bought these little tabs to like tab specific places that I wanted to go back and take a look at. But it's like I can't really even do that. So I'm just trying to consume it all as much as possible. And then maybe I'll go back and I'll tab it.
Awesome. You know what? I didn't even think to tab. I wish I now started tabbing in the beginning. One of the things that's so great about this is you do have I shouldn't say quite a few, but you have some different characters in here. You're not following just one single character. So you've got main characters, but you also have a lot of secondary characters. But I don't ever feel like I don't know who they are. Or, you know, like I keep bringing up Malice as an example because it's probably the worst case scenario where the names are so common, the characters are not very well distinguished, so you have trouble remembering what they did previously in the book and where their storyline is gone. I don't feel that way at all here. The two main perspectives, their worlds are so very different, and their personalities are also very different. And I know that Brandy and Steve have kind of been like, at odds with each other about who they like, which main character they prefer over the other. I haven't yet made a determination which one I like yet.
You know, I went into it all gung-ho about Ruka, but I like both of them.
Yeah.
I really like the different perspectives because they're almost just completely different. I mean, it's like going back to that nature versus nurture thing where I'm interested to see, at the end of the book and even in the continuing of the series, what it's going to be like and how they turn out. So I don't know.
So I know that this has been described as a grim, dark world. I know that you're only about 50 pages in. Do you agree with that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I can't tell you the reason why. I can't think of a specific scene, but it probably has to do with like the first scene, because since then, like the first chapter or so, it's pretty gruesome. I mean, I don't want to spoil it. Like I want to say something, but no. But now it's like it's been fairly tame, but I think it's just because we're learning more about the characters, or at least I am. So I'm sure it's going to get a bit spicier.
Yeah. I have to agree. Every time I think something good is going to happen, it isn't George R.R. Martin kind, where every time the good guys, you think they're about to win, he smashes an anvil on their head. It's not that bad as far as I've gotten so far, but the world is definitely unforgiving. And before we start our first sprint, I do want to say that the world building in here is done so well. This is definitely the show, not tell kind of thing. You don't know anything about the world except what you've experienced along with the characters. And I love that kind of world building. So I'm really excited to continue.
I know I keep catching myself like going back and looking at the maps and stuff so I can kind of like keep up with where Ruka and Kale are. Like I think he just met that old man Amit, something like that, AMIT,
Mhm.
and like he's still trying to like get to know him. And then I went back. I was like, okay, where's he from? And then I realized it was off the map. I was like, I need to contact Richard right now. I need to know where this place is so I can visualize it.
It's funny you said that. I was wondering, and I haven't looked it up. I was wondering if there were like color copies of this map on his website or something, because they're a little bit hard to read in the printed version of it.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
so I was also wondering like where, if there were color copies so that you could see like where the ocean is versus the island. And I know that it looks like a computer generated versus a drawn map.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I haven't really paid attention to the maps, to be honest with you, because the world building is done so well that I don't really need to visualize where everything is.
Exactly.
I understand that, and it's so neat how the south is the cold and the north is the hot, which is
Oh, I
the
know.
opposite of our hemisphere here in the United States. But
Yeah, it really does.
yeah, I hope so too, Yolene. I think you will. It just reads so effortlessly. The writing style is done so well that it just kind of flows. You just read it. You don't feel like you're struggling to understand what's happening. I don't know any other way to describe it but that. Okay, so let me get the timer set up here, and we could start our first sprint.
All right.
Anybody else? Is anybody else on here going to read Kings of Paradise, or are you reading something else? If you're reading something else, let us know what it is.
Okay.
Timer. So we want to do 20 minutes. Sound good?
Sounds good to me. I'm ready.
I've actually been reading this on my Kindle because I thought that way Richard gets more.
Oh.
What do you call it? Like more downloads?
Yeah, but paid by per page, I guess.
Yeah. So I've been reading it on my Kindles so that I can get more download. And I'll be honest, I'm very picky about my fonts. And I don't dislike the font that's in the printed, but I like the Bookerly font that's on my Kindle better.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been reading the Kindle version of it, but I'm going to pick up the paper copy of it right now for these sprints. So I'm excited. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the start button, and we're going to sprint for 20 minutes. Oh, wait, first, Yolene says here she's going to be reading Tower Lord. They are having a live discussion of Tower Lord on Sunday. So if any of you guys have read, are reading that trilogy and you want to join that discussion, you can RSVP on creepingdeath.org. That's our forum. There's a calendar in there that shows you all of the live shows that are currently scheduled, and you can join on video if you want. Usually the link for the StreamYard is in that calendar event, or you can join just in the chat. But Yolene and Steve talks about books and stuff, and some other friends will be discussing Tower Lord on Sunday. All right, I'm hitting start. I'll see you in 20 minutes.
See ya.
Time's up. Hi, Brandy.
Hi. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
I just got to a really disturbing part.
Oh, yeah?
Which
Yeah.
one?
The
Are we
hanging jaw
spoiling here?
one.
She's on
Oop.
42.
Okay, look good. I'm glad you at least got the time to start it. Yeah, I kind of regret starting early because now I don't know what I can and cannot say that might be spoilers for anybody who is in the beginning. Epic in the house.
Hey.
That's where I am at pretty much with the whole series. Like I need to make sure I don't say too much. Yeah, Yolene, I'm gonna reread but skim. And I started to a little bit, and I'm just catching things that I didn't catch before, and like, oh, things I should have known, this would happen later.
Like you could see the foreshadowing.
Yeah, that I missed before.
You're not behind, Kayla. Most of us were supposed to start today. But I started early because I was in a slump and I needed something to pick me up. And this was what I ended up. It's helped. Now I'm having to slow down because I just want to sit and read the whole thing.
I mean,
It's hard not to.
It's a 600-page book. I felt like if I didn't start on the first, and I haven't even made it that far. Like I'm on page 74 right now, so I just want to take my time with it. Just.
Well, not only is it 600 pages, but there's a lot of pages on these words on these pages. He has everything real close together.
Yeah, it's not even double spaced.
Yeah, so I mean, if it was the format of like a normal book, it would have probably been a 1,000-page book, I would guess, because it's so compact. So I just love it. I'm glad you guys are reading it.
You've only been telling us about it for months now.
I know. It's just way out of what I normally read, and I was so surprised to love it so much.
What makes you nervous, Yolene?
The squeeze, all the squeeze words on the maybe.
I mean, but when you're reading it, it's not like reading a textbook, because.
Yeah, it reads pretty quickly.
Yeah, it feels like you're into it. It's one of those books that you're into, so it doesn't feel like a thick book. To me anyway.
And it helps with the different POVs, like going back and forth. It's really nice. And I think that's really the only way that I was able to get through Priory of the Orange Tree, because if it would have just been like the same person for 5 or 6 chapters, I wouldn't have been able to do it. But there's like 3 or 4 perspectives in there, and I'm like, this is intriguing.
Yeah, what is not a bad thing, but one of the things about this is you spend so much time with one character, though. You usually spend 3 or 4 chapters with one perspective, that when it switches, you're like, no, I was just, I really want to know what happens. And then you're gone for another 3 or 4 chapters. So it's not a bad thing because you love the characters so much that when you leave them, you miss them. But
do you find though that you don't mind, like you finish the 3rd chapter of Ruka and then you get to, like, say for instance a Kale, and you're like, oh, I want more Ruka, but then you start reading and this is okay though too?
Yeah, I just got to where I just finished Dala, 3 chapters of her, and I was okay with switching to I like her perspective. I like what's happening, but I don't like her.
Yeah, I like Dala, but I don't know. She's not my favorite character.
Yeah.
There's Yolene, there is an audiobook for it. I don't like the narrator. He's not bad.
You
I
don't
ended up
like
returning the
Ralph
book.
Lister?
Yeah, I didn't.
What?
I know.
I did listen to a few chapters in the audiobook, mostly because I needed to get some stuff done, and it didn't bother me. I thought I wasn't like this is a great audiobook, but it also wasn't like, man, I can't do this guy. It was fine, but I
Yeah,
was
it was just
really
okay.
into the book and I'm wanting to just read it myself, so I didn't listen to it a lot. But I think the audiobook's okay.
It wasn't his voice that was the issue. It was just the cadence in the story. I felt like I was more immersed when I was reading than when I was listening. And so I was just like, I'm going to save my credit, get my credit back and just read it. So, and I felt myself kind of drifting, my mind drifting. And I was like, I really want to absorb everything about this. So
Yeah.
So some audiobooks just aren't conducive to that immersion, and that was just one of them.
Yeah, I
But
totally.
I don't think there's anything wrong with the audiobook, and if you need it to get through the story, by all means, Yolene, if that's what you need to. I don't know how her and Steve, man, they are just.
He
get like
passed me.
5 buddy reads a month.
I've been reading Tower Lord all month because I'm just like in a fantasy slump. I'm tired of fantasy. That's why I haven't gotten to Royal Assassin yet, because I know I'm going to love that book, but I don't want to read it when I'm tired of fantasy. So I've been going real slow through Tower Lord, hoping that because it's not bad. It's not a bad book. It's good. It's just, he passed me. I've been reading it for like 3 weeks and he passed me in like 3 days.
I had to slow myself down for this book. One, because I didn't want to finish it before we even got to the sprint. But two, because I don't want to end up back in a slump. Mm-hmm. And if I binge something, when you're done with it, especially with something you really like, everything afterwards is not good enough. So I was like, I don't want. So I'm literally reading 3 books right now, and I make myself read just a few chapters of each of the books. And I have like 1 fantasy, 1 sci-fi military that my husband recommended to me, and then I'm reading a all-time favorite author, his second book in his quartet. So I was like, and that's historical fiction, so none of them are the same.
That's good. Yeah. Though I did find after these books, I had like a major hangover after, like nothing was good. Even books that I would have probably really liked. It's just you have this to compare it to, and it's like, you gotta, especially for fantasy or grimdark, read something else, a couple things after you read these, because just nothing for me. Nothing could compare. And there was one book Steve and I were reading afterwards, and I told him, I don't know how much of this is I don't like it. I think it was The Blade itself. And I told him I like this book, but I don't know how much of this is because of Kings of Paradise, because I loved it so much and it sets the bar so high for me. So
I will say the humor in Abercrombie is a little bit more obvious, but there is some humor in here, mostly in Cale's point of view.
Yeah,
him with his training and everything, and you'll get there soon. Ashley, you're just getting into it, but I was laughing out loud on some of those parts.
I love Cale in this book.
You were Team Ruka, weren't you?
No, I've always been Team Cale. Mostly, I don't want to say too much, but I'm on both teams now, if not more Team Ruka. That's all I'm going to say. But I do love Cale. In the first book, I just love Cale. So Steve and I made these shirts after the first book. But really, I need to keep the rivalry going between me and Steve, so I keep Team Cale. Just to poke at him. But yeah, I saw Epic's previous comment about being in a funk about fantasy. But yeah, I had to DNF Malice. But he said after reading Faithful and the Fallen, he's sticking to a lot of grimdark.
You DNF what Malice, yeah.
I had to. It's just not my. I wasn't into it.
I have to say epic about the First Law. You're totally right. The character work is so good in those books.
Oh yeah,
As
I
a
love
grimdark, I mean, you can't beat the fact that you are following some of that world's worst people, but you love them.
Yeah,
I don't know how he does that.
I don't get me wrong. I loved those books, and I gave them all 4 stars. It just the blade itself, for some reason, I only gave it 3 stars, and I think I was just hungover from this one. I think if I went back and read it, I would probably give it 4 stars again. Oh yeah, thanks, Yolene.
I'm surprised you're saying that, Yolene. I thought you liked it. And epic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Where are you at in Kings of Paradise, Ashley? Where'd you get to?
I just got to the part where you know who bashes this boy's jaw in.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh yeah, like right in the beginning of the sprint, I was like, it's not that bad, like it's fine. And then I read that, and I was like, oh,
In the cabin?
okay then.
Was that
That's
the one?
before the cabin.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
the circle.
Yeah, it was a circle.
See, I shouldn't talk. Just wait, Ashley. Just wait.
There's so much stuff, but look, I started tabbing. Like I tabbed the map because I keep going back to it, and then there's one part in here where he's talking about like there's stuff going on like up here, kind of like what we were talking about with Sherlock. And I'm thinking, okay, I need to remember that. So I think something's gonna happen with that. Don't say anything, Brandy.
I will not say anything.
I like it though.
To talk about Epic's comment here about DNFing, I am a compulsive DNFer. If I don't like something, I don't have time for it. I might come back to it. So there's some DNFs that it's like, okay, I know that this isn't a horrible book. I'm just not in the mood for it, and I'll put it down and I'll come back to it. But then there are some that's like, this is not for me. And I just don't have time. I have so many books. I'm going to have to do a TBR shelf tour so you guys can see how bad it is.
Yeah, there's too many books to read.
I know.
To be reading stuff you don't like. That's what I tell Steve, and that's what I've been telling. If Steve ever DNFs a book, it's probably because I talked him into it, because I can't talk him into DNFing The Faithful and the Fallen. For some reason, he's just going to hang in there till the end.
Well, good for him.
But see, I'm like, dude, life's short. Let's DNF this in the first book. But
there are so many times where like I made myself finish a book and I had the worst reading slump ever after that. Like it would last for weeks upon weeks. And then I'd be like, okay, I can dive back in. But I usually have to grab a graphic novel. Those are usually my go-tos after but I have different types of DNFing. Like Stacy, you said you will either come back to it or it's just completely off. Like I'll just completely take it off my TBR list unless it's one of those where like I'm not really in the mood. I'm gonna come back to it. But yeah, there's some that I wish I would have DNF'd, and then there's some that I'm like, oh, maybe I should have stuck with it.
There's one book right now that I DNF'd that I think I want to go back to because I just wasn't in the right headspace for it. Have you guys read Discovery of Witches?
I've heard about it.
Is that the one they just made the TV show?
Yeah, they made a TV show for it, and so I thought I'll read it. But it was right after I read something. Maybe it was this. It was right around the time I started this book, so it could have been. I just was like, I don't know. I can't do this. I got about 30% in, but I was thinking maybe I'll go back to it though, because after reading Grace Draven, it's kind of that style of, magic and stuff. So, and I liked it. It took me a while to like that Phoenix Unbound book that we read, but I got there.
I feel like
Sorry,
they're
go ahead.
slow burns. They're definitely slow burns because as soon as I got finished with that one, I was like, yeah, I remember the Wraith King series was a lot like that too.
Yeah.
All right, one last comment, and then we actually have to read.
We're here to read.
Epic says that he likes talking shit about the faithful and the fallen in the discussion.
People get so mad, and it's just not personal. I'm sorry.
There is a huge fan base for Faithful and the Fallen, which is the reason why I wanted to read it.
And I can see why. Just having read the half of Malice that I read, I can see why people really like it. I'm not one of them.
It's just too slow. This is not my thing. And what Yoli was saying earlier is the third book is all battle scenes. That wouldn't work for me. I don't like military fantasy. I don't like big campaign military fantasy. If that makes sense. If there's like a character or a small group of characters that you're following that happen to be in the military, then I'm okay with it. But that was one of the things I didn't like about the Dragon Republic is the big battle scenes. I was like, I'm having trouble following what's happening here. I don't really care. I want, it's like, I know the good guys are going to win. Those books are very predictable. But it's okay. Steve loves them. Or he at least loved the second one.
He didn't love the Dragon Republic either, I don't think. I think he thought it was okay, but he just loved that second one.
Yeah, that's the second book is the Dragon Republic.
I try not to talk to him about it because I think maybe I might read it. But I have a hard time with battle scenes too. But in the Ash and Sand, I'm like glued to those battle scenes for some reason.
I'll let you know when I get there.
Yeah, let me know because I want to know because I do. I kind of, and I think Yolene said she does this too. You kind of skim through a little bit of the battle sometimes. I'm totally like that. But in these battle scenes, for some reason, I'm just like, this is so good. So I want to know if anybody else feels that way when you get there.
All right, guys. We're going to read 20 minutes.
Sure.
This is so typical.
It's so hard not to talk. And I just got here. I'm the worst. I'm sorry.
Also, no, not yet.
I know. Hold on.
Yolene, she just posted her. I think it was her TBR. I don't know. I had a notification pop up for it.
How do I stop this?
August TBR. So,
yay! I'm gonna watch that.
If anybody didn't know,
August TBR. What is? Sorry.
Yolene just posted her August TBR. Anyways.
I guess Yolene, did you post something today?
She won't stop. She says she's a character from Bluey, the cartoon. And I'm Aunt Trixie. And anytime I'm like, hey, Aubrey, she's like, no, I'm Muffin. And I'm like,
I love it. Okay. All right. Did you want to finish your thought, Ashley, before I hit start?
Oh, I thought I already did. Yeah, go check out Yolene's video at some point, whether it be now or later. Just go check it out.
Let's see what Yolene's reading this month. So we
see what she's reading in August.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how her and Steve keep up with all the books they're reading right now. I really don't.
I don't know. He reads. He has some downtime at work. Sometimes he can read.
Steve has downtime. Is that what you said?
Yeah, he has a little bit of downtime sometimes at night. At night, if it's slow, he can read. But I think that's
when I read most of the time too. All right, I'm starting now. Otherwise, we're going to start talking again.
I know.
See you guys at 20. Time's up. How many pages do y'all get read?
Not very much.
I got about 20, but I'm reading fast and catching many things.
Oh, yeah. Look at you.
Like
I've
things
almost
that
read a
I was
total
like,
of.
oh.
So what are you tabbing, Brandy? Just like things you...
Well, I can't really say right now, but things that happen later that I didn't, that there's hints of here. So
Cool. How about you guys on chat? Did you get a lot read during that? I'm turning up my volume. Yolene read 5 pages.
yay!
I only read 10.
15.
Depends on what you're reading.
15's a lot of pages.
Oh, 15. I'm sorry. I thought it said 5. Good job, Yolene. I just wanted to finish the chapter I was on, and I did. I succeeded.
What chapter are you on?
I just started chapter 18. Back to Dala.
Back to Dala, my favorite. She actually, I don't know. Let me see. I'm afraid to say, but I don't know. I can't say. But she does some crazy stuff. I guess that's not a spoiler that she does some crazy things. It's Dala. Can you guys hear me with Steve's mic? Okay. I'm always telling him I can't hear you on your new mic. Gotta turn it up.
Is that the new one or the old mic?
No, this is the new one. He has the whole setup over here, and I don't know. Every day he tells me I'm gonna send that mic back. I don't know.
He doesn't like it?
I think it's nice. I think he's just real soft spoken, and it's meant for like radio voice man guy, you know.
Mm.
So he needs to just maybe speak up a little and turn his gain up. I don't know.
It's definitely directional. So when you sit away from it, it's really soft. And when you're sitting up closer to it, you're more clear.
Okay. Good to know.
You could do the little ASMR thing, or like you.
So weird.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome.
It sounds good on his podcast, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I don't know what to talk about because I don't want to talk about the book because it'll spoil things.
Oh, I got you. Hold on 1 second. Got you. Okay, so I bought these for $1.
What?
$1.
From where?
Dollar Tree. And I've never heard of them, so I was like, yeah, I'm going to grab them. But they were, like, I guess when they first published, they were $26.
Dang.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they
It's a
had
great
books
deal.
at Dollar Tree.
They
I didn't
do.
either.
Nice.
I can't remember what these are about, but whatever.
Epic, thank you for coming.
Bye, Epic.
Bye, Epic.
I will post. I'm really bad about posting before live streams. I will make sure to post in your Discord.
Is Epic, are you reading this book? Did he say? Did I miss it?
I think he's reading Tower Lord.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
reading
we're
Tower Lord right
finishing
now.
Tower Lord, yeah. We're all reading Tower Lord.
But I have to
Epic,
know.
I think will really like this.
Oh,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think so.
Jolie. No, Yolene. This is The Ditch by Herman. Did you like it?
The dinner.
Is it horror? Looks like a horror book.
I'm not sure. I think it is. It's like a horror thriller. I think that's why I picked it up. I don't know. I'm just amazed that I got them for $1.
That's a great deal. I have to go to my Dollar Tree now. I never really paid attention to. I don't even know if I've ever been down the aisle where the books are.
I don't know if all of them even have books. Like the ones that I've been to, they've either been in complete disarray or they're like little sections. Like this one was closer to an end cap, and it was literally like just a few. There wasn't a whole lot.
That's cool.
It's a great deal for us, but I feel bad for the author. Can you imagine being on here like, oh my God, that's my book. She got it for $1 at the dollar store.
I got your book for $1. Do you remember Liza Koshy? $1? Do you remember those videos? Oh my gosh, you'll have to go look up her videos.
No, who is that?
Liza Koshy?
She's a YouTuber.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's super famous. But say
Literary fiction thriller.
I have no idea what we're doing. This is ice cream. But yeah, so like she's like a big time comedian, and she goes to the dollar store and like she'll pick something up. She'll go, $1? A ball? $1? It's hilarious. And she's doing this with like a whole bunch of people that are in the store, and like some of these people you just catch behind her and they're like, what's wrong with her?
So Yolene says that she did like the dinner. And it was literary fiction thriller. Why does that sound so familiar?
Yeah.
Like that title sounds familiar. Like
I gotta be right back.
okay.
I have a little.
You better hurry.
Okay.
Better hurry.
$1? No.
So that's awesome. That's a great. Have you gotten Assassin's Apprentice yet?
I still have my coupon. I have like a $10 coupon for renewing my Books A Million membership. So as long as I do that before like at the end of August, I'm probably gonna get it. I just haven't had the chance yet.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know. But I think that's what I don't really set TBRs, but I think that's what I'm gonna do next month. Is I can't remember. I don't know if I'm doing the book of the month.
So for September,
Yeah.
it is the Dark That Dwells sci-fi book. This one.
Okay, yeah. So I'm not doing that one. So what I might do is focus on reading that, and then possibly, if I'm not burnt out with fantasy, possibly the second one. Oh no, I need to wait.
No, that second one will be the September book.
Okay, I think I'm doing that one.
Which one?
You're
Sorry.
hosting it.
I am.
No,
Oh,
Ashley's hosting the second book, and Ash should say, wait, yeah, you're hosting the second book. And
okay.
Ash
Yeah, I thought
we're
so.
on Ash and Sand.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, we had shots right before I got on, so my kids are kind of freaking out a little bit.
You had shots?
We went for the I got my kids all liquored up and gave them some no. We went to get our first COVID vaccine.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we're allowed to say because they're weird about that on YouTube, but so my kids are a little nervous when it comes to vaccines anyway. So my daughter just poked her head in, and I think I'm shaking. And I think she was just really nervous. I don't think it had anything to do with the shot, but I told them, if you feel weird or anything, just come get me. So she popped in and got me.
I hope she's fine.
I wish I had
Sorry,
somebody
I didn't
in
interrupt.
the field. Because I freaked out. I got the first one. I was like, okay, this one's not going to be that bad. And nothing happened. And then the second one, I was like, I'm going to hurt so bad. So like I got muscle cramp relief stuff, like the topical stuff, and a lot of Tylenol or whatever it was that they suggested. And nothing happened. I was like,
Yeah, I mean, some people, nothing happens. Every time my daughter gets a vaccine, she has like anxiety around it.
Yeah,
So I think that's what she's experiencing right now.
that's understandable.
I don't like shots. I hate them.
No.
I can't
After
tell
one.
you the amount of times that I got stuck when I had Aubrey. So many times. Like they couldn't even use like my arm. They had to use my hands or my feet. It's bad. I was plumped
Jeez.
up. I had preeclampsia.
Oh,
Yikes, girl.
Ew.
Kayla's asking about Gunslinger.
Yes.
I am reading. Actually, I've already read Gunslinger. Beat ya.
I think Steve and Steve's probably going to start after Tower Lord, I'm guessing. I'm probably going to start it hopefully next week also.
It's short. It doesn't take very long to get through. And I don't know, but the narrator who does a lot of Stephen King's books, his name is, oh my God. He's an actor, but he does a lot of Stephen King's audiobooks, and I really like him. And I ended up listening. I did the immersion with The Gunslinger and listened to the audiobook while I was reading.
I
And
think I might do that. Ashley, are you going to read Gunslinger?
Not right now. I actually have a couple of other Stephen King books on my TBR that are just sitting on my shelf. So I'm gonna try and get through some of those. Like I got the Institute, and then a couple of those older ones like Under the Dome, which is humongous.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, Gunslinger is George Goodall. That's a different narrator. I must be thinking of a different book. But I didn't have a problem with the narrator. I thought he did a good job. But I literally listened to it while I read. I didn't at any point listen to it without reading, so I don't know if it's one of those audiobooks that you can just listen to. So I can't say because I did read the whole time. I was stuck in quarantine. I had nothing better to do.
I'll probably do both.
You just finished the whole series, Kayla?
Oh.
Okay, so I need to know. I'm not trying to say that you guys won't enjoy Gunslinger. It wasn't this horrid, book, like it was written really badly or anything like that. I just didn't feel like it was a novel. The whole thing felt like a prologue to a larger series. So if you go into it with that, I don't think it'll be as bad. I did not expect it. I expected there to be some kind of story.
So it's the beginning of something.
Yes.
Obviously.
So everybody keeps saying, don't worry about it. The rest of the books are so much better. Kayla, is that true? Having read all of them, is it worth the journey?
Is it like a Western horror type of book? Like I'm not even really sure.
Yes. It's like it's got some fantasy elements in it. It's very Western, very dystopian. I mean, you name it, it's pretty much there. It's very it's very dark fantasy, I should say. Very dark.
Is it
I have to
horror?
leave that on the list.
I would say it's horror, but
I'm a little nervous.
I mean, it's so hard to say based on The Gunslinger, to be honest.
Oh yeah,
with you.
she says it's like a prologue.
Yeah.
Worth reading. She'd love to.
You'd have to read it because it gives you the main character's backstory. So I imagine if you just jumped into book 2, you wouldn't understand what's going on. Yeah. So Kayla says dark fantasy. I would agree.
Oh, I like.
I don't know that it's horror because it's got some horrific things that happen. I guess.
Okay, I'm excited though.
Yeah, I already bought the second and third book. I mean, even though I gave Gunslinger 2 stars, I was like, there was enough in there to go, I want to know more. But there are also a lot of things about Gunslinger that I was like, this should not have been published as a novel. And even Stephen King has stated that the rest of the books are better. Like, he admits The Gunslinger was not his best book. And so if he can admit that, then I'll give him a chance. I just hope it's not another Malice
All
situation.
the books. Steve bought them all. The whole. He's in.
Oh, I saw that whole big box set.
Yeah, I have them on Kindle. Oh, Rex.
It has a big face.
He says,
a
"Oh,
big
cute."
lapdog. Oh, Rex. Oh, I love that zoom in on the nose, dog.
Gotta boop it. Gonna boop that nose.
He's so cute.
We went to Starbucks today, and every time I go through a drive-through, he like pops his head out, like right here in between me and the window, and like his nose is just resting on my shoulder. And there are so many people that were like, "Oh gosh, he's so cute!" And then it's really interesting because there's a lot of people I get that are like, "Oh, that's that's a big dog," and then
the bigger they are, the sweeter they usually are.
Yeah.
Did he get his puppuccino?
He did. He did. That's what he was wanting.
That's so funny.
Kayla loved them all, but the second book is so different from the first. You have no idea how hard it is for me to not start reading it right now, just because I've heard that from so many people. And like I said, there was enough that happened in the first book that interests me that I'm really excited to read the rest of the books. But I've got so many other books I need to read this month. JB's joined us. Hey, JB.
Hey.
How are you doing? What are you reading today? Yolene's going to sleep. I know it's late for you. Thanks for jumping on.
Yolene, we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see.
Right?
Well, I won't see you tomorrow, but
well, are we doing streams of some sort? The Just Because is tomorrow on her channel, I think, or something.
I will be on chat, but I won't be on stream because I'll be in the vehicle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, going on a road trip.
Shh. Not going anywhere. Shh. I'll be at home.
Social distancing is a thing.
I am. I'm excited to do something. It's so freaking hot, though, y'all. What is with this year?
I'm hearing that from a lot of people around the country. We've had record heat here, and it's always kind of hot here because we live in the desert. But it's been like record heat, and we've been losing power. And what?
Well, what is that?
I already got my fall decorations out. It's a
I'm so ready for that too. It's all I can do not to put my fall tablecloths on.
No, not yet. You got a few more weeks.
I'm so ready for the fall.
Pumpkin spice everything.
Yeah. Riding while I watch for a bit. I think that counts as reading. Yes, it counts.
Oh yeah,
that definitely counts.
How is book 2 coming along, JB?
Oh, I'm so excited. Can't tell you.
8-2F where I am. Are you? Oh, I'm sorry. I did not even know what I was reading. I'm like, 8-2F. What's 8-2F?
Oh my gosh, it's like 100 degrees here.
But it's a dry heat.
Oh.
It's so, if y'all move to Arkansas, y'all are going to choke on humidity. It's terrible.
Well, a couple years ago, we went to New York in May, and my hair, have you ever seen that episode of Friends where Monica goes to the Bahamas?
Oh, yeah.
And her hair, that was me and my daughter. We have pictures of our hair. We both have curly hair.
That's funny.
And just like the air you breathe is so different from the air we breathe here. And we're here over 5,000, like our elevation is over 5,000 here. So anything lower, we're just kind of like, we feel weird.
Yeah, I went to Colorado, and it was, oh man, I was competing in a gymnastics competition. And I remember them telling us, they're like, drink a lot of water. You're not used to this elevation. Drink a lot. I was like, all right, well, guess I'll do that.
Yeah, that's what it was different for us at the Grand Canyon. Monica's hair. I love Friends. That's like my comfort TV show.
Oh me too. It used to be like my nap time TV show because I've taken so many naps with friends in the background because I've seen it so many times. It's like a
I want to get like that with the Gilmore Girls.
Oh, I
Or-
love
oh
Gilmore
yeah, I love
Girls.
that one too.
Y'all, I am worried about my mental health because I am binging Heartland. And when I'm done with that show, I don't know what I'm going to do.
My daughter is binging Heartland right now, and she's already saying, "When I finish Heartland, I'm gonna watch The Good Witch." Have you seen The Good Witch?
Mm-mm.
I think it was a Hallmark show, but she said there was we watched a few seasons of it, and then we never finished it, and it was good. But there was, I guess, a character in Heartland that was from The Good Witch, and so she's like, "I need to get back to
Okay,
The
I'm
Good
gonna
Witch."
watch it.
But it's cute. It's real wholesome, Hallmarky fun.
That's what I want because that's what Heartland is for me right now. Is just that wholesome. Although I'm kind of getting annoyed with some of the drama. It's like when you watch a show like that, episode after episode, it just feels like the drama never ends. When you're watching it 1 week at a time, it doesn't feel that way. But I'm like, oh my god, here we go again. But
I kind
it
of want to
makes me
watch it.
feel just good.
That's me with true crime series. Like I have to take a break and do some self-care.
Yeah,
I can't binge them.
Are you talking about Friends, Kayla?
I think she is.
What was the book in Friends that they hide in the freezer? Was it The Shining?
Yes, it was The
Or
Shining.
there's a point I think where they were reading Cujo and then they were reading The Shining. One of them, Joey has to hide in the freezer.
Yeah, he's hiding The Shining in the freezer, and then he asks Rachel if she's ever read a book more than once. And she says Little Women, so they swap.
That's
And
right.
he reads
That's
Little
right.
Women, and she reads The Shining. Oh, that's a
He
good
starts
episode.
putting it in the freezer too.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was the.
and so I
think
read
they were-
both of those books.
I think it was
What?
I'm sorry. I think they were watching Cujo, the movie. at
Yeah,
some point.
probably. I don't remember that. How do I not know that episode?
I think it was like a
Jamie-
scary movie that her and Joey were watching together. I forget.
This JB, you live somewhere with snow then? I like the coolness of the winter, but I don't like the short days. I don't like getting out of work and it being dark. It's like I go into work, it's dark. I leave and it's dark. It's just feels like I'm a vampire. I hate it.
The other day we were talking to AJ Redker, or I wasn't talking. I was in the chat, but when he said, "You can always put more clothes on, but you can't get more naked."
Yes.
I love that. That is my new motto.
Yeah, Kayla's talking about when the girls were reading the book and they said, "How can I grow if you won't let me blow?" Was it like the wind goddesses or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was like that self-help book.
Yeah,
Oh man, I'm gonna have to start watching Friends again.
I know, me too.
I just showed it to my kids, I think less than a year ago, because I felt like they were old enough. And we watched it, and they're obsessed, and they have like Friends shirts, and so I thought, okay, I better take a break from rewatching Friends, but I think I'm ready.
Did you watch the reunion?
No, I didn't. I'm afraid.
I am too. Okay, so I'm not the only one.
I didn't want to cry.
I'm
I don't want them
afraid
to
that
ruin
it's
it for
gonna
me.
ruin things. Yeah,
Yeah.
because they all look so different, and I mean, have you seen Courtney Cox? Looks like a different person, kind
Yeah,
of.
she does.
She's changed a lot.
I don't know if she's had, I mean, it looks like she's had work done, but I don't know if it was, cosmetic or for other reasons. So, like Rose McGowan, everybody gives her a hard time about her plastic surgery, but what they don't understand is that she was in a horrific automobile accident and went through the windshield, and she had to have cosmetic surgery on her face to repair the damage. So we can't be too quick to judge people because of that.
Yeah. I didn't know that about that she had a car wreck, but I did see her and thought, dang, her plastic surgery is good. Because a lot of people get it and you're like, oh no, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
But her, I thought she looked good.
The reunion was nice. I cried. They did a couple of table readings, the most memorable episodes.
Oh goodness, I'm gonna have to watch it.
I know. Maybe I'll just binge the 10 seasons and then watch the reunion.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Because we don't have enough to do. As a matter of fact, we're supposed to be reading right now. Maybe we should get ready for
I know.
another sprint.
We're talkers.
We need Steve here to tell us when to shut up and read.
I know you
have to
guys
tell
don't
y'all a
know
story.
all the little under the table pokes I was getting. We gotta read. Stop.
I have a story to tell y'all real quick.
All right.
Okay, so this is actually kind of on theme. There was a girl who was participating in like a really competitive meet, and it was like the high levels, like Olympic status kind of stuff. And she went and did this trick, and her knees went into her eyeballs, and they said that her like this part of her eyelids were coming off and like drooping off, and she had to have reconstructive surgery. So that ties in because you know the book. There's
Yeah, I mean you're gonna get a lot of that in these books. Sorry.
maybe that's what's wrong with me. Maybe that's why I like stuff like this.
The thing about I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's always a purpose in these books, or it's not just violence and brutality just to be violent, you know. There's always a reason for it. I'm finding. Yeah. Bye, JB.
Bye, JB. Thanks for coming.
It's well placed.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Ashley.
I actually have to go too.
Oh, do you? Okay, well then let's not do another sprint. We can all read offline. Let's go ahead and wrap things up. I didn't realize it was already an hour and 30 minutes we've been on here. We only did 2 sprints.
I was late.
We were somewhat on topic.
But it was fun. It's always fun doing these sprints with you guys. So thank you for joining me here on film. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for coming. Those of you who are still around. I will not be on live on any of the live streams this weekend, but there are lots. So please go to creepingdeath.org and check out the calendars for the other live streams that we'll be having this weekend. We have the Kings of Paradise live discussion for the Ash and Sands trilogy will be on the 29th of August. So go check out the calendar, RSVP if you want to join. We're also reading The Gunslinger, and that live stream will be on the 22nd. And there are others, many others. So please go check it out and join us. Thank you all for joining. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.